There we go. 589, No Laugh Track Podcast. This is Justin Severson here, mostly each and every week, except we've taken like 3 weeks off, so it is incredible to be back with Jake Johannsen.
Did you get hit by the tariffs? Is that why you had to take 3 weeks off?
So the last time I did a show was the day before I left for a weekend trip with the guys to Vegas. And
nice.
I was hoping listeners were like, man, is he like still down in Nevada? Like what happened? Is it some legal trouble? No, we just have had scheduling conflicts with
Well, it could be
various guests.
If it was Vegas, it could be two things, right? It could be A, jackpot, you don't have time for this crap anymore. I mean, are you that kind of guy? Like if you like, let's say you received a phone call. You can't during the show because you're in airplane mode, but let's say right after the show, we both go on our phones and you get a, it's got to be ridiculous. It's got to be way enough. So let's say you get a $10 million phone call.
Yes.
You're going to inherit $10 million. Do you immediately cancel a lot of things from your life, or do you just kind of let things roll for a little while and think about it?
See ya.
Yeah?
Yeah, out of here. Yes. First calls to a lawyer that I don't have at this point because I have no need for one.
Uh-huh. And
yeah.
What would you put him in charge of?
Protecting me and my money. In my new $10 million.
I see.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you were going to go public with some kind of divorce aspiration that you.
No, Jake, come on now. This fall will be 10 years with this marriage, sir.
Well, you know that the old joke, right? The guy comes home and tells his wife, "Honey, pack your bag. I just won the lottery." Yes.
She's your bag.
Yeah. She goes, "What? Winter or summer? Where are we going?" He goes, "I don't care. Just get out of here."
Yeah.
So you would be the cancel. You cancel everything.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then also, if you've just been to Vegas and you don't show up, like you're missing for 3 weeks, that could also be because you're in jail.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that probably would have been more likely with this trip. I don't wager enough to come back as a 10 millionaire. It would have to be some relative that I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
Is leaving me that much money.
I'm
never winning 10 million when I'm wagering, $5. That's going to be
the best you can hope is the best you could hope is to double the amount that you're going to put at risk. That'd be a huge time in Vegas.
100% profit. I'm walking
right.
away. Yeah, I'm absolutely happy with that. No, and that's funny. You go to Vegas and people are like, "So you coming back a winner?" And technically, I think I came back like $35 up.
Well,
winner.
That's
that is
great.
Technically winner.
That's great because most people have that mentality of like, I'm taking $200 to lose, and they just keep going until they lose it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, I've watched my that's added entertainment of watching your friends do that.
Yeah,
yeah, and like, well, at least it's not my money. At least it's not my money. Well, welcome back, sir. Another year, another week.
I know. Well,
Acme.
That's my whole thing now. I just want to be back next year. That's my goal now in life. It's as you get older, your life and your goals kind of get smaller and smaller because there's less time that I have before now and the end. I mean, I'm not it's not maudlin or anything, but I'm just trying to keep a good thing going. I want to come back next year. So far, mission accomplished. I'm back this year. That was my goal last year. So this is me achieving a goal. How's that feel to you? Good?
I love that. It made me think about life expectancy, actually, because my dad recently got some news about some health concerns for himself and all of us that love him. And he told us that the doctor's like, no, you don't need to worry because this will not shorten your life expectancy. Yeah. He's already there, Jake.
What do you mean he's already there?
Like 77 or whatever the life expectancy is for a male in the United States? He's there already.
But his personal life expectancy, the doctor's saying this is not going to be the thing that kills you. Something else is going to kill you.
Is that what he meant, or was this
like
that is
what he meant? No, he didn't mean that. This is so. Just as a person, not to start with Debbie Donnie Downer at the beginning of the show, but my wife is a cancer survivor.
Oh yeah,
which means that she had cancer, and the guy said this is the kind of cancer that it should not affect your life expectancy. Meaning that she was still going to live as long as she was supposed to.
Okay.
Supposed to live, but not that. I mean, your father's life expectancy is not based on if you're alive at what? How old is he?
77.
So it's 77. So let's say the U.S. life expectancy for men is 77. Well, if he's at 77, his personal life expectancy is going to be longer than 77 because he is 77. So the way my father put it is, it goes your life expectancy, they always expect that you're going to keep living if you're alive. So as long as you don't die, your life expectancy, it never goes to zero. It only goes to zero when you die.
That's a good point.
Sometimes, so that just the amount that you're expected to live longer, like when you're 93, it's like we're pretty sure you're going to make it another 10 minutes, but don't count on tomorrow.
Last night on stage, you mentioned about, you talked about something about this, like knowing a person that's 100.
Yes.
And
I did know a person that was, and I knew her since she passed when she was 104, and I probably knew her for 20 years. So I probably knew her when she was from 84 to 104. I got to watch that happen to her.
Something similar in my life. My ex-wife's grandmother just recently passed away at like 102.
Yeah.
I have memories of 20 years ago where she was like, I just want to die.
Yeah, no, that's what she would say.
It's like crazy.
At the end, her son, I forgot to do some of the jokes to go with that, but her son would always say, I'll see you tomorrow when he comes visit, and she'd say, I hope I'm not here.
Jesus.
Yeah, because she was done. I mean, eventually you're just waking up to eat an egg salad sandwich.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, she was losing she couldn't see to read a book.
The woman I'm thinking of lost her sense of taste. Eating food. I don't know what her taste like in music was, but her taste in eating food had none.
Yeah.
She'd be like, I could pour a pound of salt on this, and I don't taste a thing. Yikes.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, no, not good at all.
That's not good. Yeah, so I don't know how long you want to live, but I've ruled out hundreds a lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was the point of your joke.
Number.
It's 100's too much.
It's
you
a
don't
solid
really want
number. It's a solid number. I mean, if you go sliding into that 100 bag, I mean, you feel pretty. You got to feel like you did something. I mean, I feel like I did something already. I feel like, look, this has been a great life. I'm not anxious to get out of here. I'm really having a good time, and all of those things. But, 100. You want to just keep being able to do the things. Walk around.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you still doing jiu-jitsu?
I am.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How often?
I go about 4 times a week if I'm home.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's a lot of times. And, so I'm usually the oldest guy there. There are older guys than me at the place, but they started when they were much younger than when I started.
Yeah.
And so the people, I've been there a long enough time now that they all know me and they like me and nobody's trying to assassinate me. Although, the people who just started out, it's exciting for them to be able to beat somebody who is a purple belt. And so some 25-year-old kid who's just, he's been training for a year.
Sure.
He can beat me because he's young and strong. I mean, I'm giving away 30, 40 years to some of these kids. So
I'm curious, what is I mean, you have a level of fame. You've got this long career, and you're going into this place just as a guy off the street. They don't know that you're Jake Johannsen that's been on Letterman 46 times?
No, they don't.
What has anybody figured that out at some point? Like, wait a minute, you look
I've
familiar.
been there. I've been training now for 7 years, so yeah, they've figured it out. But still,
what was that like when they?
There was a guy the other day who asked me if I'd been on anything. He says, "Have you been on TV?"
Yeah.
Because he knew I was a comedian, and this is a guy. He's a roofer. So he's
actually someone that really works for a living.
Oh, dude, you do not want to be a roofer. He told me when he has people interview he'll put a job out there, like he's got a job. He'll have, let's say, 14 people respond to the ad he puts out, and then 7 will show up for the interview, and then it'll be you're supposed to show up for work the next day, and maybe 1 guy shows up, and sometimes that guy's like, I got to go get something from my truck at lunch, and just doesn't come back.
Never again, yeah.
So anyway, he says to me, have you been on anything? So I say I'd been on something. And he goes, oh, really? I said Letterman 46 times. And he goes, oh, wow, really? And I go, yeah, I'm Googleable. He goes, I'm not fucking Googling you.
What the fuck, man?
Because it's just weird to Google somebody else. So he never
Bullshit.
did that.
He Googled you the second he got to his phone, and you weren't watching.
No, he didn't. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about that. Our relationship, his and my relationship, is not based on that.
I love that. Is that what you normally say? I mean, that's a big, you could be like, yeah, I was once on, I was on Comedy Central for 5 minutes in the 90s, but you just go all out. Yeah, Letterman 46.
Well, if martial arts has taught me anything, is once somebody wants to go, you go.
There you go. That's perfect. That's perfect. When we talked last year, you described your career as semi-retired.
Yeah, I'm still doing that, and that's just to get past the, the beginning of the year is pretty nice. I was at Zany's in Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm here. A couple weeks I'm going to be in San Francisco at the Punchline.
Okay.
But then, we just had a 3-week trip to New Zealand to visit my wife's family, and we're going to leave in May and go for 7 weeks to Europe and do some stuff. So we're traveling. We're spending and then in the fall we're going to go to Ireland to see our daughter for Thanksgiving for 3 weeks, because we can. And part of that is, I've always been able to, if I wanted to push stuff aside in my schedule. But part of it now is I'll take the gigs if people want to hire me. I want to go out and work. But if my agent or manager calls and she's not getting called back, then I'm going to go do some other fun thing. So yeah, I'm semi-retired. It just makes it easier for people who are asking you, because it's usually I have to say I'm semi-retired when people say, "Oh, are you doing a lot of gigs, or you got a lot of stuff coming up?" And I go, "Well, I'm semi-retired, but I'm going to Minneapolis next week."
Yeah.
So I get to. That's how I do it. Yeah. So that's how I say it. I'm semi-retired.
I saw some pictures and video, and you mentioned it last night, of the Cambodia, Laos trip last fall.
Yes. Yeah.
It looked amazing.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And as I said last night, I thought that I was going to have to take a similar trip when I was a teenager to Vietnam.
Yeah, not as fun.
Yeah, but that didn't happen. And
right.
It is an amazing place to go. If there's anybody thinking about taking a trip, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, they're so beautiful. The people are so nice. And the cost of things is very reasonable. And so you can stay in a you don't have to be rich to stay in a pretty nice hotel and have a really nice dinner, and to do some super fun things, hike up to the top of a waterfall, or spend the day with some elephants, or, all kinds of just amazing things that you can do. Highly recommend.
Sounds beautiful. Have you?
And this is some advice to people who are listening right now. If you go outside the United States and you don't travel a lot, you haven't been out there before, you never learned another language. Well, the good news is, when I was in high school, the big question was, you have to take a foreign language. So what language do you take? I took French because it was the international language of diplomacy. And so, everybody's going to learn French. And some people took Spanish because, for whatever reason, California, it'd be great to speak Spanish, because then you could talk to the people who are all around all the time. But it turns out English is the language that you should learn if you would like to travel all around the world, because that's the language that they all learned.
Right.
So they all went to school and learned English, and so
they didn't make the mistake of learning French, which nobody fucking.
No, look, and let's say
like
in
you and I did.
In another 25 years, it'd probably be good to know Chinese. But right now,
right,
it's a great time to travel around if you speak English, because they all speak English, and they're excited to, like, we're in Vietnam, and little kids would come over and say hello. They love to say hello. People who don't speak any English love to say hello to you and get you to say hello back, and they act like it was like a trick, like you're some puppet that they made say hello. But little kids would come over and say hello, and then say, will you speak English with me?
Yeah, I love it. You and your wife could do a travel show. You're so entertaining together.
That would be really fun, and I'm open to offers about that. I guess maybe that should be what I'm trying to do, is pitch a travel show with me.
Honestly,
and my wife.
You could get some sponsors to that. It's really entertaining.
Goodness. It would be fun. That's a great idea, and my wife would love it. Because every idea that she has now about things that we could do, it turns into like a show business idea, or she's like, "Oh, I'm a cancer survivor. we could write a book together about being a cancer survivor, and then go on a book tour." And I go, like, "Yeah, but then we got to hustle and try and get gigs." Like, I want to pitch a travel show to someone who does travel shows based on the videos that I've already made on Instagram, and then if they buy it, I want to do it.
Sure.
But do I want to spend a year driving all over LA pitching things to people? I spent 30, 40 years doing that.
Yeah.
This is more fun. This is more fun.
Yeah, semi-retirement's more fun than that.
Yeah, and even let's say next year I call up and Lewis goes, "I'm not going to bring you back to Acme," I would really cry a lot, but I'd be tempted to come just do the podcast.
He means that.
If you could fly me in and put me up.
Oh, wait a minute. We could probably work something out. I have one final question about that trip, and it was one of the videos that I saw where your wife was saying you were about to go get your feet nibbled on by fish.
Yeah, well, there's video of that. My feet in the tank.
Oh, I skipped that one.
You didn't see that one.
I skipped that one.
That might have been on her Instagram, or maybe I didn't. Maybe we didn't post it.
Have you continued to have that done in the United States? That fish, like, is that your new thing now?
No, I don't think I haven't seen it here. Well, this is like you're walking down the street this was in Cambodia where we were staying, and you're on the corner of the sidewalk, and this little kid, like 7-year-old kid, comes up and goes, "Hey, you want to sit down and let the fish?" There are these big aquariums, big glass aquariums. Yeah. So it's a bench. So you're sitting in a chair, but your feet then are going into this aquarium that's full of little fish, like from small goldfish size to pretty big, like 2-3 inches long fish, big goldfish, yeah. And they eat the dead skin off your feet, and you get a beer. So for basically what amounts to like $2, you get a beer and the fish eat the dead skin off your feet, and for as long as you want. You know,
you have to milk that beer.
Well, if you want another, it's the beer. It's the beers of $2.
This sounds amazing. They have that. Were you about to say they don't have that here? Because you can find that in the United States.
I bet you could, but I'm saying this is like, there's a bar on the corner. Like it'd be like you're walking around the corner of a bar, and they've got a bench where you're sitting, and you've got a little place like as if where I'm sitting now with this table with my drink on it, except my feet are in the drink, and I'm just looking out at the sidewalk as people are walking by. That's where you do it.
I wonder if Lewis has considered doing that in Acme. You could have little like individual aquariums for everyone.
Well, I feel like a mani-pedi is not a great combo with a comedy club.
No?
I feel like Lewis is really onto something with the restaurant. But I feel like the mani-pedi thing is, you'd like your customers to come back more than, how often do you get a mani-pedi? That's got to be, even if you're a serious, like if you're one of those Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, what do you do? It's a once a week mani-pedi maybe?
I mean, for me personally, my next one would be the first one ever. So,
yeah.
I'm with you there. Did you see the, there's new rules at TSA about what you can bring on the plane? Have you seen this? Did this affect you on your way here?
Well, I didn't. I'm anxious for you to tell me about it. I can say that sometime between when we left on our vacation last year to Vietnam and now, so sometime between last August, September, and now, the whole you need a bag with under 3 ounces and put it in a clear bag and take that bag out of your bag. You don't have to do that anymore.
Yes.
They don't make you take the bag out of the bag or put it in a bag out of the bag. You could just check it.
I want to know your thoughts on this. I used when I went to Vegas, I used an airline that charges the same amount for the overhead bag as the checked bag. Same price. Remember, that used to be free, but now it's the same price. It was like $50 for either one.
The check bag used to be free too, bro.
We used to smoke on the planes too. Bring that back. No,
you used to not have to pay to choose your seat.
These scumbags. So I did that, and the reason I did that is because I don't like worrying about, like, do I have too much.
You check the bag.
Yeah, because I don't want to, like, I brought like hair gel or shampoo or whatever. It's like I don't want to have to be like.
Yeah, I think there's still limits to the size of the thing, but they don't make you get it out and put it in a little bag anymore, I don't think.
So I found this list here.
You tell me. Okay, here we go.
For nearly 2 decades, Jake, U.S. passengers could only fly with liquids in 3.4-ounce containers in a clear plastic bag, as you just said, but that it's all about to change with a drastic list of 11 new TSA rules.
Number 1.
So these will no longer have to fit in the 3-ounce rule. You ready? Let's see how many of these will affect you, Jake Johannsen.
Okay.
Over-the-counter medications.
Sometimes,
sure. Prescription medications in gel, liquid, or aerosol form.
No.
Ice packs or gel packs for medically necessary items.
No.
Food or drink for infants or toddlers.
No. If I decide I want to bring some formula for myself, though, is that okay? Or does it have to be? Oh, anyway, go ahead.
It is nutritious, right? Am I?
Yeah. But, no, I talked to a guy who one time told this story about he was trying to save money as a comic on the road, and he tried buying baby food, but it's terrible.
No. How about this one? Wet batteries.
I don't even know what a wet battery is.
I didn't either. I had to look it up.
Yeah, I don't want to know. Okay.
All right. Live fish transported in water.
No, does not affect me.
Can you imagine looking over and somebody's holding their goldfish
how
in a
is that
bag?
different from some guy's got his little tiny weird dog?
Right. It's what is it? AMA? Is that what they call it? When it's when it's medically necessary. How about biological specimens, Jake?
I am a biological specimen.
We're talking about extra biological
Okay.
specimens. No. Liquid-filled teethers. We got duty-free items sealed in a tamper-evident bag. Now, I remember being on flights where people would just bust out bottles and we're drinking like our own alcohol on the plane.
I haven't heard him make that announcement recently, but for a while that was part of the. You're on the plane. Don't forget, you're not allowed to consume any alcoholic beverages that you brought with you. In other words, you have to buy your alcohol that you drink on the plane from them. They want control over that, and I think that's a good thing.
On our way down to Vegas, one of the guys in our group was sitting next to a stranger, and we landed in Vegas. He's like, "I'm fucking trashed, you guys." That dude was feeding me shots all. He had had a bag full of those little cocktail glasses. Got him drunk. Anyway, last one. This one's very important that you can now fly with, Jake. Fresh eggs.
Huh. That's interesting. I can't believe that got its own. Like, there's so many people who are disappointed. Like, they couldn't. You're telling me I got to just leave all these great eggs right
Where am I
here?
going to put these eggs?
Yeah.
Do I mail them and they meet me to my destination?
They probably have eggs most of the places you're going. But so, do you still have to have your shampoo still has to be in 3.4 ounces, or can you now bring a 7-ounce?
Oh, great question. It's almost like we rehearsed this, which we didn't. Final paragraph. If everything goes according to plan, Jake, shampoo, perfume, sunscreen, and body washes could soon join this list.
They could be more than 3.5 ounces.
Correct. Yes, but we're not there yet.
We're not there.
You still cannot be trusted with 4 ounces of shampoo on a plane.
Fair.
Fair.
Oh, I'm going to wash one of those dogs.
I love it. Some of my research about things we were going to talk about. I saw somebody. Oh, it was on one of your YouTube videos, I think, and somebody referenced a time you were on Carson with Richard Pryor.
Yep, I was. I had forgotten about that until I saw a clip of me on The Tonight Show with Richard Pryor.
What was was there much?
Well, as I recall, I don't think I sat down. I think I just did stand up from over there. But
He was probably the first guest.
He was the
that
first
night?
guest, and then I would have been on, I think. I don't think I sat down and met him or shook his hand. I don't think that. But I could have. I mean, I don't know.
You had never met him in any other previous.
Not in any kind of real life situation. He was already so famous by the time I started, and then I was not a Comedy Store guy, and that's where he would go perform, was the Comedy Store.
Oh,
mostly,
okay.
If he was going to go on.
I'm assuming you did Carson before Letterman. Yeah.
No, the other way around.
Really?
Yep.
Was that normal in the 80s
Well-
that comedians would do that, Letterman first?
My managers also. Well, I had auditioned and showcased for both, and then I had done Letterman, and then the Tonight Show. The guy who was in charge of the Tonight Show, his name was Jim McCauley.
Oh, yeah.
And he would have to screen you. You know, he'd have to approve you to go on the Tonight Show. And his feedback to my manager was that Jake seems nervous, and so that could be a problem, because if he seems nervous, then that's going to make Johnny think he doesn't know what he's doing. And my manager said, "Well, that's his act. His act is he looks like he's stammering and doing that, but that's that's his act." And the guy was like, "Yeah, but if he looks like that and Johnny thinks he's nervous, then that'll be bad, and it'll be reflect on me, and I can't take that risk."
No kidding.
So I did Letterman first a few times. I'd been on Letterman for probably two years, so four or five times, and then they had me on the Tonight Show with Johnny.
Would you then do? Was it okay to do like both?
Then I could do both.
You could do both.
Then I could do both,
Okay.
and I did both. For a couple of years, I would be doing 2 Tonight Shows and 2 Lettermans.
Yeah, that's changed.
Yeah, there's no Letterman.
That's what I mean, yeah.
There are Tonight Shows, but Johnny is.
Yeah,
Who does-
I guess technically there's a Tonight Show.
Pete Lee does a Tonight Show, I think, still.
True. He's yes. I think he's one of the only comics they book is Pete Lee, and good for him because he deserves it and he's very funny. But yeah.
He's very funny. But I mean, you could argue. I sort of felt like by the end of Letterman, I really loved going on there, and it was a thing. That was a thing that I did. Was I went on 46 times. That's more than any other comedian got to go on, and so it was exciting and great, and I really loved doing it. But by the end, whenever he stopped the show, it was 2014 or something like that. You would not even. He would say, "Oh, Jake is going to be in Minneapolis next week," and the club wouldn't even sell out. It wasn't really moving the needle the way it used to when I first started doing it in the 80s, late 80s.
Yeah.
If Dave said you were coming to San Francisco, that club would be packed.
Yeah.
But now maybe I don't know. TikTok?
It's this podcast. That's what you wanted to say.
Podcasts. I think it was podcasts for a while. Maybe podcasts are coming back. I've got to restart doing my podcast. That's maybe what I have to do.
Do you think you'll do that?
I don't know. I'm semi-retired. I can't even be like you want to give me my own travel show with my wife, which would be sort of our dream come true.
Yes.
And I just can't be bothered. Like I can just like to go on the vacations. But yeah. When someone else is paying for the vacation, they're telling you what to do, that's way less fun than you get to decide yourself.
True. Yeah. Although it's nice to have, I know when I go on vacations with my wife, we also often get into that, what are we going to do? I don't know. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What do you want to do? And then you just stand there wasting time, not doing anything.
Oh, not with my wife. She is really, do you know that someone I might have suggested it to her, or someone else suggested it to her, that ChatGPT, if you're taking a trip somewhere, you can ask ChatGPT for recommendations of places to stay or things to do, and you tell ChatGPT a little bit about what you like the more hiking and more nature, less fancy but still nice, and then it makes reservations. So this trip that we're taking, we're going to Turkey for 2.5 weeks, and we've got it outlined, and we're hiring guides, and we're renting vehicles, and we're flying from this place to that place, and we're going to do this on this day and that on that day, and it's mapped out. And every once in a while, she'll ask me questions as if what I say matters, when really my only choices are to agree or suggest maybe it could be a different time or something slightly different that's similar to what she wants to do. She doesn't really want me to get in there and mess up anything. So
is ChatGPT's opinion stronger than Jake's in the house? Is that what you're saying?
Well, you can't go by whatever ChatGPT is a kind of a jumping off place, and then you start doing if ChatGPT says you might like this hotel, then you look at that hotel and you Google other places.
I'm way into using ChatGPT. I do it all the time. Last night I was home. We need a new couch.
Are you paying for the subscription?
No, Brandon Simon, manager here, and I have had a long talk about that. He's using that, and
we were talking about it.
And
last
I really
night.
want to, because I mean, I talk to it all
was
the
telling
time.
him we had a friend who happened to be in Vietnam where we were, and that guy, I said, "What are you going to do tomorrow?" Because we weren't going to be hanging out. He goes, "I'm just going to walk around and talk to ChatGPT."
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Yeah, I was talking to it about getting a new couch last night, and it was like giving me all the, do you want this? Do you want that? How many people? Materials, the amount of size.
Let's talk about your new couch. Are you thinking about getting an L shape? Or are you getting a play pit?
Play pit?
One of those kind of square couches with a...
Oh, where they all fit together? And
yeah.
I mean, I can't afford
sectional.
Those. Those are nice.
Sectional.
Those are nice. I think we're going to go back to L.
Back to L shape?
Yeah. We need to wrap this up, and this will be the last thing we talk about here. And you just tied this in perfectly. So
it's always over too soon. That's the only thing I'll say.
Thank you. I agree.
This is a good time.
I agree.
This was it for me today. I took a walk. Oh my God. Just sorry.
Yes,
you don't have a time limit on the show because I want to talk about your thing, but I want to say also, so I've been coming to Minneapolis for a long time, and I remember, I think it's at the pandemic when this all went wrong, but today I decided I'm going to just walk over to the Nicollet Mall, because it's a street, for those of you who haven't, does anyone listen to this who doesn't live in Minneapolis? But it's a street that used to be the Minneapolis department stores. It was the downtown, walk around, have a coffee, get something for lunch, see your friends, carry a bunch of bags full of amazing purchases that you made at these really cool shops.
It's where you see the Mary Tyler Moore statue.
Yeah, and now the Nicollet Mall, it smells like ass and BO and just like it's just there's cigarettes, there's nobody down there, and then you go in and you try and get on the skywalk, and that's sort of depressing and seems like it almost the skywalk is the one that connects all the buildings together for people who have not been to Minneapolis, and it just is it was really depressing. It was a little bit to circle back to what we were talking about. I think it was before the show, but The Last of Us, it's like a post-apocalyptic. The downtown, it's just like, what happened? Where did everybody go?
Do you have any idea how many meetings city council had to get it to look like that? I mean,
To look like what it looks like now?
yes, yeah. A lot of bad decisions were made, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. So this is this was on purpose. They've created
Accidentally on purpose, I think.
Uh-huh.
That's why that happened like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, it's if they ever do a sequel to The Walking Dead, in the Midwest,
Uh-huh. Those guys that go out and find location
manager.
location manager. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing. You don't have to dress it up.
It just is
Just
crazy.
maybe take down the
because it
Dayton
used to be
sign.
people who work down there, so it'd be people who work down there going to lunch, and now it just feels like what happened? What happened?
Yeah, I agree.
Sad.
I agree.
Anyway,
for the-
your question.
I've already forgotten what we were talking about.
You had one more thing that segued back around perfectly.
Yeah, I
About
don't even
something
remember what
about
it
your
was.
couch and something about travel or really? You don't make notes to prepare for this?
I do, but I don't have it here. Let's just end with this one. Is there anyone that when you go to a website and it says, "Do you accept these cookies?" Does anyone actually accept those cookies?
Do you know sometimes it says, "Do you want to review your?" Because you can either accept the cookies or you can review your cookie preferences, and then you look at the cookie preferences, and it's like not. And then you have to click again and go like advertising cookies, and then you go down and it goes, "Hey, it's turned on," and then you turn it off, but then you still have to. Then it still says update preferences or accept cookies. And you think, well, is it accept because I just changed, so I want to accept what I just did, but that's not the right answer. So I can't tell you how many times I've probably accepted the wrong cookies, but I've also realized, like, look, you're living in a dream world. If you don't think they know everything you're doing, it's too late. I went on Amazon Prime, and because I had shopped at Whole Foods and I put in my Amazon thing so that I could get a discount.
Yeah.
Then you go on Amazon Prime and you're going to order some underwear or something, and it goes, "Here, this your last purchase was sweet potatoes and non-alcoholic beer." And I'm like, I don't need this to be here. I don't need you don't have to tell me that you're spying on me all the time. But now, even if I don't give them the card when I go to Whole Foods because I don't want them spying on me, they know my credit card number from the last time I did it. So they know everything you're doing.
Absolutely.
So you don't just accept the cookies, don't accept the cookies, do whatever you want. Don't answer the phone, don't click anything in your email. Don't just as soon as you just get a new credit card every couple of months, just call in and go, "Look, I want to dispute what's the biggest charge on my bill this month? I'm disputing that."
That was the most Jake Johannsen answer ever. Thank you so much. Shows all weekend here.
All weekend here. And I hope that people will come out to the shows because, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, my goal is to be here for the next episode next year.
Damn right. Let's make that happen. Thank you.
Yeah, so go to the Acme Comedy Club website and accept the cookies. It's real cookies.
That's right. Yeah. Yummy.